Hello everyone, welcome to Competitive Academia. So this is current capsule. So let's discuss the important articles of the day. Vice Chairman, members and Chairman of NITI Aayog, Economic Advisory Council PM contributes to PM Cares Fund by voluntarily taking a salary cut of 30% for a year. Context is not important for us, but Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister is a non-constitutional, non-permanent and independent body constituted to give economic advice to the Government of India, specifically the Prime Minister, as mentioned in its name. The Council serves to highlight the key economic issues facing the country to the Government of India from a neutral viewpoint. It advises the Prime Minister on economic issues like inflation, microfinance and industrial output. It is chaired by a chairperson and consists of eminent economists as member. Currently, the chairman of Economic Advisory Council is Bibek Debroy. Another body was mentioned here, that is NITI Aayog. Now, NITI Aayog is a think tank which was formed on 1st January 2015 after dissolving the Planning Commission. The chairman of NITI Aayog is the Prime Minister. It also consists of Vice Chairman, CEO, Chief Minister of all the states, Lieutenant Governors of UTs, etc. So let's move to the next article. Index number of wholesale prices in India. The base of wholesale price in India is 2011-2012. Very important to remember because it was changed in the year 2017 and it is often asked in question papers also. So the weightage comprises mostly of manufacturing followed by primary articles and then fuel and power. Primary article is further divided into food, non-food, minerals, crude petroleum and natural gases. Wholesale price index is the price of representative basket of wholesale goods. It influences stock and fixed price market. The wholesale price index is published by economic advisor in the Ministry of Commerce. Do not confuse it with CSO. You have to know it very clearly that this is published by economic advisor which comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Consumer price index is published by CSO under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The wholesale price index focuses on the price of goods traded between corporations rather than goods brought by the consumers. The consumer price index deals with consumer. The purpose of wholesale price index is to monitor price movements that reflect supply and demand in industry, manufacturing and construction. It helps in analyzing both macroeconomic and microeconomic conditions. So let's move to the next article, and you have to remember that WPI excludes services. Services are included in consumer price index. IMD, that is Indian Meteorological Department, announces that it expects monsoon rainfall to be normal this year. So IMD comes under Ministry of Earth Sciences. Here the context is not important, but we need to remember two things from this article: El Nino Southern Oscillation and Indian Ocean Dipole. So let's discuss. El Nino Southern Oscillation is an irregularly periodic variation in winds and sea surface temperature over the tropical Eastern Pacific Ocean, affecting the climate of much of the tropics and subtropics. The warming phase is known as El Nino. The southern oscillation is the accompanying atmospheric component coupled with sea temperature change. In the picture you can see the above one is a normal year. You can see that trade winds which blows westwards, it brings rainfall to the coast of Australia, and here if we move towards easternmost we can find the Indian coast. On the other hand, in a El Nino year, this region it faces drought and the wind blows towards South America, which enjoys a favorable climate during an El Nino year. So let's see something about Indian Ocean Dipole. Indian Ocean Dipole is also known as Indian Nino. Important. Now this is an irregular oscillation of sea surface temperature in which the Western Indian Ocean becomes alternatively warmer. When it becomes alternatively warmer, it is known as positive phase. Why it is known as positive phase? Because it brings heavy rainfall in the adjoining areas of Indian subcontinent, and during the negative phase it brings drought, as you can see in the second picture. In the first picture you can see there is heavy rain, it's written here, and in the second picture you can see that drought appears when there is a negative in ocean dipole. IMD has predicted that it is going to be an ENSO neutral. Now ENSO neutral is a condition which means that ocean temperature, precipitation and wind pattern will be near average during this phase. So the next article is, Donald Trump announces plans to hold up WHO funding, accusing it to be China-centric and criticizing its early guidance aimed at countering the international spread of coronavirus. The WHO relies on assessed and voluntary contribution from the member states and private donors for funding. In 2018, it had a budget of $4.2 billion, most of which comes from voluntary contribution from member states. Now, WHO is a specialized agency of the United Nations. It is responsible for international public health. It is a part of United Nations Sustainable Development Group. Its parent organization is United Nations Economic and Social Council. It publishes a report named as World Health Report. Now, WHO was formed on 7th April 1948, which is celebrated as World Health Day. Its headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland. Its Director General is Tedros Adhanom. Soumya Swaminathan, she is from India. She is the Deputy Director General of WHO. Apart from it, there are other two Deputy Director General which we don't need to remember. There are 194 members in WHO. Coronavirus lockdown norms can't be diluted, said by NDMA. Now, NDMA, that is National Disaster Management Authority. It is an apex body of the Government of India, which mandates to lay down policies for disaster management. It was established through the Disaster Management Act enacted by the Government of India on 23rd December 2005. It is headed by the Prime Minister of India, very important, that's why we are discussing, and can have up to 9 other members. It works closely with National Institute of Disaster Management for capacity building. It develops, practices, delivers hand-on training and organizes drills for disaster management. It equips and trains disaster management cells at the state and local level. Its parent organization is Ministry of Home Affairs. The headquarters of National Disaster Management Authority is located in New Delhi, and it is responsible for framing policies and laying down best practices and coordinating with the State Disaster Management Authority. In the state also we have State Disaster Management Authority. The next article is ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, recommended pool testing. Now, what is pool testing? In this method, multiple swab samples are pooled together and tested. A mixture is taken from all the samples and it is tested. If it is negative, further test will not be carried on. But if it tests to be positive, then individually all the samples are tested. Now, UP is the first state to get the nod of ICMR in pool testing. It is a method to expedite the testing of COVID-19 cases so that the number of tools can be saved. UP is the first state, you have to remember. And pool testing, do not confuse it with something else. The next article is business correspondents. Now, business correspondents, they are the agents engaged by the banks for providing financial services at location other than bank branches. Basically, they go door to door to satisfy the needs of the customers. They perform various activities like identifying borrowers, collection and preliminary processing of loans, awareness about the savings and other products, education and advice on managing money and debt counseling, processing and submission of forms, etc. Basically, this is to increase the base of people who are engaged in the financial inclusion, and it will help the country to include more and more people and bring a habit of saving in the country. So who can be the business correspondent? There are no such fixed rules and regulations. Individuals like retired teachers, retired banking personnels, retired officers, or individuals operating at common service center, bank officials, NGOs, societies, agents, small savings schemes agents, insurance companies agent, all these can be the part of business correspondence. And not only individual but also institutes like NGOs, societies, post office, retail outlets, etc. can act as business correspondents. So they have become one of the most important link in the financial inclusion of the country. That's all for this article. We'll come up with some new discussions tomorrow. Till then, thank you for listening, and like, share and subscribe to our channel, and you can download the PDF from the link given in the description box.